Nice little animation. I like this one because it looks... Yeah, I like the way the light plays off Mickey there. It's really cool. The Mad Doctor. So we're moving through time. This is 1933 now. Lots of bats. For quite a long time, there was an unbroken run of bats in Traveller's Tales games. I can't remember exactly how many games we did in a row with bats in them. And it wasn't intentional, but it kind of became something we spotted, and so we started to add them in on purpose. I'm not sure how many it ran to in the end. Okay. Skeletons. Now these are really hard. I remember for sure on the SNES that the skeletons are much harder. Chris was showing off by having more particles than the Mega Drive because the SNES could do more sprites, and so he did loads more bones when they exploded. But as a result, it was much harder to play because if the bones touch you, they kill you. So in many ways, the SNES is actually harder to play because of that. I love the fact this is Mickey Mouse, nice Disney sort of cartoon thing, and you have to avoid knives falling off the walls. It's looking back, it looks quite harsh having these knives just drop off the wall at you. But there you go. Let's grab a few of these. Okay, and then the fireworks that we set off, they're kind of checkpoints. I'm not sure how accurate they are as checkpoints. They may be absolutely fine. I kind of suspect that if you die and you haven't hit them, you probably would continue from that point in the level anyway. Maybe it's when you get a continue. These ropes are great. I love swinging ropes in games. And so what we did was we rendered a tiny little 16 pixel by 16 pixel section of rope, and then I always love to use sine waves to make this nice sort of sine. So it's not just a straight line. It's got a bit of swing to it. And Mickey's animation works wherever you are on the rope. So if you go up high, he holds on really well. It's sort of high, from a higher position. And if you get the very, very bottom, he swings quicker. But it all kind of just works. Same set of animations, no matter where you're on the rope. I love these fires. There's something about the little coals they spit out. I just think that's a lovely little hand animated graphic there. Lovely. Right. So let's see if I can get those extra stars because I'm on my last hit point. Oh, that was very close. There we go. I feel happier. Now it looks like I'm going through those, but it's actually when they explode that they damage you, not during flight. So I won't. Shall I try and prove that? There you go. Okay, in case you're thinking I'm cheating terribly, I think I've given myself infinite lives, but we'll see when I die. I have 4 currently. We'll see how we get on. Oh look, there's a star up there. How on earth am I going to get that? I wanted to try and get all the hidden secrets. There's a little... Oh, I know. Oh, I guess I would go really far up the rope. There you go. That worked. The bats are super well hidden against the background, actually, when they're just sort of nesting in the rafters. You see there's one up there. There's a couple up there. But I like enemies that you can see if you look carefully, so they don't just appear from nowhere, but they feel like they're appearing from nowhere, so they surprise you. Okay. Pretty big bats, actually. Flies attacking me in real life. Okay. If you hold up when you jump, you look up and jump really high. And so if you do that when you move, you get to a secret area above, and you can pick up an extra life and a few extra hit points. Okay, this next section is super fast and super tricky. You have to stay on this thing as it falls. Oops, you messed it up. As it falls before you jump. Really tricky section, really fast, really short, because it uses... I'll explain in a minute. I'll just try and get past it, and then I'll explain why the section isn't very long. I think it's 17 seconds total. Oh. There we go. That was it. Okay, I'll just wait here for a second. So the reason that's 17 seconds long is all the maps in the game, I didn't have variable map sizes. They were all a certain width, so like 10 screens wide by 5 screens down or something like that. And so that's great for a normal level, you can design it that way. But when we wanted a nice chase section, of course, you go very quickly across the width of the map. And it doesn't make for a very long section. But as it turned out, it was such a hard section to play, it's probably good it wasn't too long. We actually had on that section that if you were down to your last life, I think, If you died on your last life, it would then bring up a message and let you go past it. It would skip you past it. So you couldn't actually game over on that section from memory. The secret to this section, if you want to know how this is all programmed and how we do this effect, I've done a video on that. I'll try and put a link here and maybe in the description as well. The secret to this section is these platforms that collapse actually take a while before they break. They wobble for quite a while before they break. So as soon as they start wobbling, you tend to panic, but you can actually hang on a little bit longer and let the hazards go by. I've not really been concentrating very well here, but yeah, I'm taking quite a lot of damage. Yep, let's try again. And that classic death there, where Mickey dies, has X's in front of his eyes. If I die again, have a look. And holds up a lily, so he's clearly dead, is the only time in history that Mickey Mouse has ever been depicted dead. So there you go, there's a record. I'm sure many people would be envious of. We killed Mickey Mouse. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Get rid of him, jump the barrel. Again, the thing is not to panic on these collapsing platforms. Okay. Nearly there, I think. A few more barrels coming. See how long those platforms stayed? Quite a while, really. And there you go. Phew. Okay, back to bats and skeletons. I always try to do some kind of twist on each level section. Some new gimmick. So just before it was the fireplaces, obviously we had the ride on the, as Americans call it, the gurney. This one seems to be sort of gloopy mud, but I'm not sure if there's any extra hazard type here. See, now I'm out. I'm all out of... See, this is one of the criticisms of the game. And if I ever did a director's cut, I would try and address it. Is the fact that you don't have enough marbles with them. I suppose you can bounce on them. In this instance, you can't in all instances because they're a bit tall. Oh, this clock, this isn't animated, this is all programmed. I look back at it, I had the time to program the clock with the pendulum there. So that's 3 little sprites and a big blobby sprite for the pendulum, and then the hands are made up of, looks like 4 for the minute hand and 3 for the hour hand, all programmed to go around circles. I think it even ticks. Yeah, a little ticking sound there. I don't know. And it doesn't do anything. It's just there. Maybe it was in the cartoon. I can't remember. Maybe the clock was important in the cartoon. But anyway, I was obviously bored one evening. Probably quite late. I thought I'll code the clock. Why not? Okay. Probably no one ever noticed. Good. Marbles. Marvellous. Apologies. Okay, so this lift section, quite like it. There was a game called Aliens based on the film, which I think had a section where you went up in a lift. It was in the arcades. And I think it was around the time I did this. I saw that and thought, oh, we have to have a section like that in Mickey Mania. And so you kind of gradually go up in the lift. I like the way the wheels on the side there spark and retract as you go up. Again, must have been really bored, because no one's ever going to notice that detail. The 4 side wheels of the lift react to the thing there and do little sparks. So there you go. I think I must have got bored quite often. If you leave the lift and go back in again, I'd hidden a secret area up here. Anyway, so you fall down here. As you fall, it goes dark, and you get a comical pair of eyes instead of Mickey. And then the stars kind of light the way to the sort of hidden steps as you go up. And up here you get an extra life, and ta-da! You find Mad Dr. Mickey. And then this is a simple little puzzle, but I think I'd just done Pugsy, I think, before this game, and we had a lot of puzzles in Pugsy, and I liked puzzles. So in this one it's real simple. these little poison, because it's all about the Mad Doctor who would mess around with chemicals and things. So you can see these things dispense different coloured liquids, each one. So this one does green, this one does sort of orangey red, I guess. Probably limited by palette actually, which is why it's more orange than red. And you can mix them in any order, and as they mix, it changes the colour of the liquid. So I could do them in a different order. And this has mixed those two to get the sort of aqua colour, and I'm going to add this one in. A lot of bats up there. Let's go. He made it. But it always ends up this kind of greyish goo, and then there's a switch up here which starts boiling it. And again, playing this again, I like the touch that I've made it so the lights go dim when I turn it on, and so it really highlights the flames and the sparks. And also, you can heat it up to a certain point and step off, and then it will gradually cool down again and stop bubbling. Which again, nice touch. It could have just been an animated sequence which just gradually built up the power, but you can turn it on and off, keep it boiling there forever if you want. Anyway, we'll let it do its job. And again, the explosion looks great because the lights are out. So probably using the half brightness mode of the Mega Drive. I'd have to check out the Genesis. I'd have to check out the SNES version to see if it has the same effect. And then kind of disappointingly, this boss fight, which is great animation. Let me just get into a safe spot and let me talk about the animation for a second. So the animation was done by a company called Creative Capers, who Disney had vetted, and I think must have used for actual animation work at Disney. So they were approved by Disney to do all the animations, and so they hand animated every single thing we needed for the game, and then sent us all the individual pages of hand-drawn, just black and white animations. And then we, along with timings for how many frames each animation should be used for. And then we went through the game, we scanned, we had a scanner, flatbed scanner, scanned each page into the computer, reduced the colours, got an artist to colour it in, each individual frame in a 16 colour palette. And then we had to cut them out so it used the fewest number of sprites we could possibly fit them into, all to just get one frame on screen. And there was thousands of frames, and they're big frames, they're not little. That was something we were really proud of when we were making this game. At the same time, I think it was Virgin Interactive was making the Lion King game for Disney, and we'd send them these builds, and you'd have these huge enemies, like the Mad Doctor and things like that, all beautifully animated, and they'd see the Lion King game and there'd just be these tiny little enemies, which really helped us. That started quite a long relationship between us and Disney, because they could see the difference that we brought to programming the games. So, but I was going to say about this boss fight, I mean, yeah, he does different things. He throws these vials at you which explode, you jump on his head, but that's pretty much all you do. You just jump on his head. And so it's not a very exciting boss fight. So I'm a bit disappointed by that, to be honest. Obviously he's going to try and cut up Pluto. If you look at the blackboard there, I'll sacrifice a life so you can have another. He's like, looks like duck plus dog plus divided by saw. So he's obviously going to do cruel experiments to Pluto. There we go. And I think we've done it there. And that plays into this point, a very scared looking Pluto. And then a very excited looking Pluto. I actually have a dog, the breed is a golden doodle, and he doesn't half remind me of Pluto doing those silly jumps. I've got a very jumpy dog. Well done, Mickey has defeated the Mad Doctor and rescued Pluto. Excellent.